Tonight, Trump destroys Kamala Harris in a landslide victory in the 2024 election. Liberals are losing it. Also, we'll discuss the major mismanagement and big-time mistakes that the Kamala Harris campaign made. All that and more on episode number 99 of Up to Speed with Tripp Simpson.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audience.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Art. A to the RT. So many niggas want beef, go to Arby's. Not too many rappers in this game that can stop me feeling cocky. Cause my flow hella stocky. Yeah, and I does this shit. Flow sick, something like when your two cousins kiss. Ill. And y'all niggas know who run this shit. They out of breath. Tell the coach I need 100 bricks. Let me cook them in the oven quick. Take them out when these percussions kick. Yeah, and it was never really a discussion, kids. Trade you to another team like the Russians did. Whoa, what a bitches that be sucking dick. Hit me up, you know I love that shit. Yeah. And it's all go when I touch that bitch. Pass it to me, watch me clutch that shit. Swish, swish.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Up to Speed with Tripp Simpson. I am your host, Tripp Simpson, in the building.
The first of his name, Lord of the Seven Kingdoms and Protector of the Realm.
That's right. And before we get this live stream started up tonight, first and foremost, you know we got to handle business. Let's get it.
Family moving up in the business. I know you're gonna look after family.
What family you talking about, Ice?
Fuck, I look invisible, nigga.
That's right, I'm not invisible, so do me a favor. If you're watching live on YouTube, hit that like button, hit that share button. Also, if you're watching live on Facebook or X, hit that like button, hit that retweet button, and no matter what platform you're watching on today, ladies and gentlemen, comment in the live chat below. Let's help this video get off into the algorithm. All right, so this is going to be a pretty short episode tonight. Of course, I am flying out to the beautiful Tulum, Mexico in the morning. So we just gonna get to the point tonight. I wanted to make sure I commented on this landslide election that just went down this past week. I haven't done a live stream since the day of the election when they tried to sabotage my live stream. I don't know what happened, but like halfway during the stream, the audio just went crazy. Hopefully those issues are resolved tonight. Don't expect to have any problems, but anyway, we'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes. So real quick, before we get deep into this conversation, first and foremost, I gotta address the strong independent queens and the bitter baby mama brigade. You know who you are. The strong independent queens and the bitter baby mama brigade. Now, some of the things I'm seeing you guys post on social media has been utterly ridiculous. I'm seeing posts saying that if black men get killed by the police, that they won't go out and march for us. And also I'm seeing posts where these same women are saying that they are, at this point, refusing to date black men, all because of our stance on the election. And all this nonsense, ladies, to be honest with you, I want to make one thing abundantly clear.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
Jerry.
We don't care. We don't care. We don't care about your whining and your crying about Kamala Harris losing. We don't care. Why don't we care? I'll tell you why. Here's one good reason. Let's rewind all the way back to May 5th, 2022. Let's go back to May 5th, 2022. Y'all remember what y'all did? Do y'all remember what y'all did? May 5th, 2022. It was at that point when I realized that a line in the sand needed to be drawn between black men and certain types of black women. Y'all know how much black men respected and revered Kevin Samuels. And even though you may have disagreed with some of the stuff he was saying, the way y'all mocked and ridiculed that man after he died was disgusting. It was disgusting. All because he promoted accountability. But to my point, do you really think that you're whining and crying over Kamala Harris getting her ass blown out completely? Do you think that we care? I mean, after what y'all did, after how y'all acted after Kevin Samuels died.
Those chickens will return that evening to your barnyard, not your neighbor's barnyard. I think this is a prime example of the devil's chickens coming back home to roost.
It's the chickens coming home to roost. So real quick, man, what I want to do is, man, because this shit has been ridiculous. I want to read a DM that one of my homegirls sent me the other day. She was upset about the election. Now, I'm not going to say her name or anything. I respect her. Got nothing but love. But I want to just read this shit real quick, just to give you guys an idea of the crazy shit that these women are on after simply just losing an election. She says to me, 20% of black men like you voted for Trump. That's a judgment y'all will have to take when y'all go upstairs with your ancestors, because you know damn well they are rolling in their graves based on your decision. Right? Matter of fact, let me show this so y'all can see what I'm reading. Let me show this. DM. Here we go. All right, can y'all see that? All right, so let's start over. It says, 20% of black men like you voted for Trump. That's a judgment y'all will have to take when y'all go upstairs with your ancestors, because you know damn well they are rolling around in their graves based on your decision. Okay, so let me get this straight. Our ancestors are rolling around in their graves because we voted for Trump, but they're not rolling around in their graves looking at you guys delete all your children. They're not rolling in their graves watching Megan Thee Stallion twerk at a presidential rally. They're not rolling in their graves looking at this baby mama culture that we call a community. But instead, they're rolling in their graves because we decided to vote for the best option for the country. Like, I'm telling you, like, the women in America at this point are so spoiled. They're so spoiled, especially black women, that they've come to the conclusion that God is on their side. They've come to the conclusion that God is on their side. 22 million babies in the dust, and God is on your side.
Blood clot.
Okay, let's continue. Then she says, and it was Latinos that voted the most for Trump after he called them garbage. Okay, let's stop right there. Trump never called them garbage. Trump never called them garbage. Then she says, all of y'all are in a cult when it comes to Trump. He can do no wrong in y'all eyes, and y'all are so blinded by his bigotry that you excuse it as brashness. when it's just a billionaire with no class or humanity. Trump winning just shows how evil people in America are and how we would rather arrogant associates than humanitarians to the world. Y'all are effed up for real. Let's see. And it goes on to say, and the number of black people that didn't go to the polls is trifling. I'm moving out of the country and I was already doing my research and making moves to do so. I do not want my daughter to grow up in a society that will never choose her for positions of power. If you have a daughter, you need to tell her that you don't believe she will ever be in a position of power because men run the world and refuse to allow a woman to. You supported that. All right, I don't even know where to start there, right? Because first and foremost, I could care less about, how can I say this in a politically correct way? I don't wake up every morning tossing and turning over the possibility of never having a woman being president. There's roles in life and there's roles in society. I'm not saying that a woman can't be a leader of anything, right? But what I am saying is that I think that a lot of times some women get things twisted, right? You forget that it's men who dug the ditches, built the railroads, built the electricity, climbed up large scaffolds, building fucking towers, skyscrapers. Men did all this. It's men who put the air conditioner in your house. It's men who built the automobiles. It's men who work on oil rigs, risking their life. It's men who do these things. It's not women. It's men who go to war and die in battle. I don't understand how women want to preach equality when you guys don't really believe in equality. Because if you believed in equality, then you would start on the ground level like men did. You would be signing up to dig ditches. You would be signing up to work in the sewers. You would be signing up to be electricians. You would be signing up to work on oil rigs. You don't sign up for those things. You sign up to try to go straight to the top, straight to CEO. That's not the way it works. Yo, give me the last time we had a war and we had a significant amount of women die. And I'm not taking any significance away from any females who have lost their life in battle. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is you guys have not put in the work to demand such things. And I'm not even saying a woman can't be president, because there's plenty of women who I think would make decent presidents. I think Condoleezza Rice might make a great president if she wasn't a warmonger. I think Tulsi Gabbard might make a great president. I think Marjorie Taylor Greene may make a good president. These are all women who I think are great politicians. However, the one that you guys chose as your savior this go around just wasn't it. She wasn't it. And you know, the crazy part to me about this entire message, right? This entire DM for her is how the answer for her disappointment in black men and how she mentions wanting to deal with other races of men, as if other races of men are beating down the door to deal with black women. They're not. But what's also so interesting is that if the decision she came to based on the 2024 election was that she was going to date other groups of men, then why would you be interested in men who support Trump in higher percentages? Latino men, white men, Asian men, every man on the planet supported Trump at a higher percentage than black men. I mean, the whole logic behind this message is flawed and clearly based solely on emotions. Solely on emotions. And that's another reason why most men are reserved about having women in a leadership role. And I'm not saying that women can't take one, but you have to take in consideration more. So most women than not are led by their emotions. Now, what's also interesting is black women's innate inability to read the goddamn room. Did y'all really expect white women to abandon white men? If they didn't budge for Hillary Clinton, what in God's name gives you the idea that Kamala was going to do it for them? If we're being honest, Hillary is light years beyond Kamala as a politician. And Hillary sucks at it.
Blood clot.
Now, am I saying that the only reason black men voted for Trump at 25% was because we wanted revenge for Kevin Samuels? Hell no, that's not what I'm saying. Am I saying that we did it to spite black women? Hell no, that's not what I'm saying. We did it because we noticed what the majority of pretty much every other logical thing in America noticed. She isn't fit for the goddamn job. You can go back and watch all her interviews during this campaign. They were horrible. As a matter of fact, I go out on a limb and say that through the course of her entire campaign, she didn't answer one damn question directly. When it came to policy, she didn't answer one question. When it came to accountability, she didn't answer one question. Not one. All word salads. Well, I'm from the middle class. But anyways, what I want to do is next, I want to play part of this video compilation created by a Black Conservative Perspective YouTube page. Shout out to that brother. If you get a chance, go to YouTube and type in Black Conservative Perspective. He has a great page, great content. And basically, what I'm going to play from his channel is a collection of women losing their minds over the election results. All right, let's check this out. This is hilarious. All right, 1 second. All right. Here we go. Let's get it.
No! No! Why? Why? Do you really hate me that bad?
We have literally lost the plot. We have lost the plot.
I just woke back up. What the f is going on? America, y'all dead ass? Dead ass? Come on, bro. Damn. What are we about to do?
Votes at this, and that means he needs 23 more. Pennsylvania has 19 electoral votes. Michigan.
I've been crying in my room for the past hour. For the past fucking hour. And people saying, oh, but New York is blue, New York is blue. I don't give a f New York is blue. Like, the fact that this man is a president now.
Boy. We got.
So as you can see, they're going crazy. They are going crazy. They cannot take it, man. This is hilarious. Let's go. Let's watch some more.
Flowing all over the internet. Are losing their mind.
But this could
Clip.
I hate to be the person that gets on here and cries. But this could break me and my parents apart because they just don't understand what they voted for and like what it means and the bigotry and hatred that they stand behind. But I could see it like breaking me and my parents apart because they just don't get it, and they don't get that they voted for someone who's gonna make my friends' lives
Shout out to JP Reload. He says, how about they all move to Africa? Right. See how their rights get treated then.
Hell, my life's okay. I'm a white woman, but my friends are not gonna be okay.
Which means that somehow he has once again officially won the presidency. I see the hate that this world harbors towards women, towards LGBTQ+, towards people of color, towards everyone who is not this mold. Today, this country has proven to us that they hate women, people of color, LGBTQ+ members, everyone else more than they hate a literal felon who has committed schmeshmal. That is how much hatred they harbor for women, and I fear that things are not going to get better. This is not moving in the direction of things becoming better. They have won the presidency.
I gotta stop it right there. Like, and this is what I be talking about when I say that American women are the most spoiled women in the world. You're the most spoiled women in the world. Nobody cares about your tears at this point. You guys have literally gotten away with everything, up, including murder. You guys get away with everything. And now you're on the internet crying on cue because you don't have the right to unalive 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th month-old babies. These are the kind of spoiled women we're producing. They got more rights than any other, I wouldn't even say any other woman. American women have more rights and better benefits than every human being on the planet, men or women. Walk into a courtroom against a woman, especially family court, and see how many more rights that you have more than them. They got everything, bro. And that's still not good enough. They gotta have everything, and then they still gotta have the right to smoke your kids. That's literally all they're crying about. This is all that's about. Them not being able to be reckless in their sex life. Them not having the option to opt out of accountability. That is all this is about.
They have won the Senate, and they will probably be winning the House. The GOP will have full control to pass and do whatever they want without being stopped. And we have seen what that means. We have seen their playbooks and their projects and their plans. I genuinely do believe that we are about to witness the downfall of an entire country.
If you're on the left, you're a Democratic voter. Wakey, wakey. I need to wake you up out of the hypnosis that you're in, that Morning Joe and The View and all of mainstream media has put you in. They're lying to you. Why do you think they keep losing? Do you think that they keep telling you how smart they are and how they're gonna deliver you victories? And all they ever do is deliver loss after loss after loss. So Democratic voters, snap out of it. These guys are obvious liars. Fire them all. Fire them all. And if you don't, okay, then keep losing to buffoons, to obvious con men like Donald Trump. Keep losing and losing and losing and never figuring it out. Here, I solved it for you. I figured it out. It's a goddamn corruption. All the stupid donor money, all it's ever done is lead to more losses. So if you don't fire them, you have no one to blame but yourself.
Trying to stay calm today. Woke up this morning. Decided that we were wearing all black today because it is the death of the country as we know it.
Blood clot. I don't know about y'all, man, but I love swimming in the tears of liberals. This has been one of the greatest weeks ever. One of the greatest.
I have never been so utterly disappointed in a group of people, and I just don't understand. Like, how do you not understand we are under his tax plan? That tariffs will cost us money. That he is a misogynistic, homophobic, racist, bigoted piece of shit who does not care about you. He doesn't. If you die tomorrow, he could give 2 fucks. He could give 2 fucks if you eat, sleep, have a house. He doesn't care.
You know what the crazy part to me is? Why do these people think that we care whether or not Donald Trump likes us or not? Why do these people care? Like, you know what a person said to me the other day? You can vote for Trump all you want, but those white guys still aren't going to accept you. Like, my nigga, I'm not here to be accepted by anyone. I could care less about being accepted by anyone. I care about my bank account. I care about the world that I'm raising my kids in. I don't care about being accepted by anyone. Like, you people really live in a fantasy land where you think that one day, if you just keep voting Democrat, the world is going to turn into this utopian place where everyone's accepted, everybody has money, everybody wins, nobody loses, there's no more pain, there's no more sorrow, there's no more it's not going to happen. That is not the world we live in. It has never been the world we lived in. From the day Eve ate the goddamn apple, we've been in a cold world. The quicker you come to that resolution, the easier life will be for you. But that's the problem. As I said, American women are spoiled. They have no idea what reality is actually like until it strikes. And then they end up crying on the internet. All right, let's get to this next video. This next video is hilarious. Give me a second. Look at this.
And I think all women should stop having sex for the next 4 years. In protest and protection of your bodies. As we know, if that little baby inside you gives you any trouble and you need an emergency healthcare, you're fucked and you're gonna die. I think that is sufficient enough reason to stop having sex. Don't you agree? This vote wasn't a vote for Americans. This vote was for men. And unless we want to become the Handmaid's Tale, then us women need to protest because this is some buttery bullshit. I'm sorry to the women and minorities who aren't going to get the help that they need in the next 4 years. I'm sorry for the people who are impoverished who are just going to keep dying from starvation and lack of healthcare and lack of governmental support. People are actually praising this guy and it's a freaking joke. Look at the states he won. You won't catch me there. You'll catch me in New York City. And I'm sorry to all the women who are going to...
You know, the crazy part is I'm trying to figure out who actually cares that she doesn't want to have sex. Who cares? I'm telling you, man, like, you're lucky I'm not the president. You're lucky I'm not. You're lucky I ain't the president. Because you think Project 2025 is bad. Wait till you see what I would have in store for y'all. None of these women would be allowed to have cell phones. Oh no, you can have a cell phone, but you can't have social media. The type of shit that they put on social media is insane, bro. And this woman actually has an audience. People actually listen to her. I don't know why, but they do. Let's get to this next one, man.
I don't know what the fuck y'all want me to say. I don't know what dream y'all want me to sell you, what reassurance you think that I should be giving you right now, but I can't. I'm a black woman in America, and I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm disgusted with this country. I'm disgusted with the people in this country, and I'm disgusted with myself because I had so much faith in humanity. Thank you, because I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. A country that literally was built on the back of racism, homophobia, misogyny. Like, what the fuck was I thinking?
Bro, I would love for any of these women to move out of this country to go see what the real world is like. Like, American women have it made. Go to Dubai talking this dumb shit. Go to Dubai. Go to Mexico talking this dumb shit and see who cares. Go to the DR, go to Colombia, go to Brazil, go to Russia, go to China, and see how you get treated for your opinion. I'm telling you, all this over the fact that they can't smoke their babies, bro. I'm telling, that's all this is about. It ain't, they keep the racism, homophobia, misogyny. They don't care about any of that. It's about one issue. It's about one issue.
I went out and voted for the black man that got lynched 5 hours away from me. I went and voted for the people whose bodies were found behind a police precinct, 300 bodies. I voted for them. I'm tired.
Like I said though, black women, they're just not reading the room. They're not reading the room. And what they don't understand is that America has turned the page. Like I said a few episodes back, the race card is out of money. It's declining. It's insufficient. It's like the Discover card. Nobody's accepting it. The Victim Olympics are officially over. Okay? It's over. The American people are tired of it, so you might as well give it up. Your last 4 years of Victim Olympics is over. Joe Biden is not the president anymore. Starting in January, it's a new era. We've turned the page. At this point, right now, every black person needs to hear this, right? Every black person needs to hear this. Black people, listen up. At this point, cut the oppression talk. I mean, look, I'm not saying that no black people were ever oppressed, but what I'm telling you is that nobody cares at this point. The country has spoken. What you need to do is operate as an American. Stop separating and cutting yourself off from the rest of the country because nobody cares anymore, unfortunately. Nobody cares. Operate as an American. Operate as an American. That's the best advice I can give you. But if you keep this racism, misogyny, blah, 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 Victim Olympics mentality, you're not going to get anywhere. You're going to be judged by the fruit of your labor, not the tears about your situation. You got people coming. You got people who, well, prior to the Biden administration, used to float over here on tires from 90% black countries where racism doesn't even exist, right? Why would a human being leave a country? If racism is so bad, why would somebody leave a country that's all black with no racism to come to America if it was that damn bad? Now, is it perfect? No, but nobody's perfect. Nothing is perfect. But you're not in no imminent goddamn danger in America. Let's be honest. The only imminent danger you're in is in your own neighborhood. It's in your own neighborhood because of these wild ass fatherless niggas. That's the biggest threat you face in America. Fatherless niggas. Fatherless niggas commit the most murders in the country. Fatherless niggas. That's who you need to be on the lookout for. And I'm not just saying only niggas with no fathers, but you know what I'm saying. Niggas with fathers murder people too. Okay? I'm not saying that they don't. But you know the majority of niggas that murder and run around doing crazy shit are fatherless. That's your biggest problem. That's what we need to reverse in America. And I'm sorry, but it's nothing the white man can do to help us. We have to have better behavior. Our behavior is piss poor. And then we wonder why don't nobody want to deal with us. But when you on the internet all day doing stupid shit and then promoting it and glorifying it in your music and in your culture, you're going to get judged a certain way. So it's time to clean that up. This should be a sign, right? We should take this Trump victory as a sign. Okay, it's time to clean up our act. Let's get our families in order. And just as a byproduct of intact families, you'll have intact communities. And when you have an intact community, then you get influence. But something's got to give, man. Something's got to give. Something has definitely got to give. So what I want to do next, I want to go to, hold on real quick. Let me get to some of these comments. Shout out to JP. He says, ones who called themselves men were crying too, like Steve Harvey. Facts. We got Jermaine Smith on Facebook says, thank you, sir. Got these grown men on Facebook talking about they're now scared for their lives. Huh? Concerned about Trump and the police taking you out, but no concern about the killers in your neighborhood. Facts. Bro, I'm not strapped because I'm scared of white men coming to attack me. I'm strapped because of niggas. Period. And also, if World War III pops off and, you know what I'm saying, whatever, then I'm strapped to the T. But for the most part, I'm strapped because of niggas. It's niggas breaking in people's homes, it's niggas carjacking people, and it's niggas doing random shootings at gas stations and shit. It's niggas. And the crazy part is everybody can see it. They just don't say it out loud. Everybody can see it. While we on TikTok and Twitter, fake crying about white supremacy and Trump, everybody, every other ethnic group is laughing like, please. You need to be scared of your own people. Everybody can see it. They just don't say it out loud because niggas can't handle the truth. I hate to get on here and lecture niggas, man, but damn, it's like whatever choice do I got? Y'all really think people care about your whining and crying? Don't nobody care, bro. Nobody cares. I swear to you, I swear to God, nobody cares. It's time to take Michael Jackson's advice and look at the man in the goddamn mirror. Ask him to change his ways. All right, now, y'all get the point, man. Read the room. Read the room. The victim Olympics are over. I assure you. I assure you of this. Now, I want to get into this next video clip real quick. Now, people have been sending me this video since after the election. Since right after the election, I've been getting this video like crazy. I think DL Hughley's the one who posted it. And they act like this is some profound revelation about Donald Trump or what his presidency could be. This is a Vice News interview with self-proclaimed white nationalist Jared Taylor. All right, so I'm gonna play this. Now, this is an old video. This is from the first Trump presidency, but for some reason it's circulating everywhere now, as you know, because they're on a non-stop scare campaign. So let's get to it.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for meeting us. It's my pleasure. Yeah.
Europeans have probably, on a per capita basis, killed more than anybody else, but because they were technologically more advanced.
Where does gunpowder come from? It comes from China. It's just that Western civilization took things from people. And I think when you get to older civilizations, they become more benevolent. They don't hang on to things like genetics as much. They understand how experience changes.
Now, I got to stop him right there. Like, I don't want to come across like I'm just trying to defend white people, right? That's not my goal here. But what I do want to accomplish, I want to just enlighten you guys, because the arguments that a lot of these people make against white folks are just stupid. Here you have a guy who's of Chinese descent trying to accuse white people of something that Chinese people have done for ages. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of Genghis Khan, but Genghis Khan was one of the biggest murderers on the planet. And he wasn't white, he was Asian. The China, I mean, like, no disrespect to China, but they're not innocent. They're not innocent. So, like, for someone of Chinese descent to sit up here and try to guilt a white guy like China doesn't have blood on their hands is crazy to me. First of all, everybody's got blood on their hands. Europeans aren't the only ones. I think it's a silly conversation at this point. Like, if you go throughout the course of history, every dominant civilization has blood on their hands. That's how you become dominant. You don't become dominant by being nice and generous. You become dominant by blood. If people know you're ready to tear stuff up, they're going to be less likely to mess around with you. That's it.
Just you.
Base them on facts instead.
And I'm not defending Jared Taylor. I'm not a fan of Jared Taylor or anything like that. But the fact that people are using this clip to somehow try to bring Trump down is crazy to me. First of all, he has nothing to do with Trump. And Trump's already denounced him. But they're using this clip because he was a Trump supporter to try to correlate Trump with white supremacy, which is unfair. Because the Church of Satan endorsed Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. But I'm not calling Kamala Harris a Satan worshiper just because they endorsed her.
But what I find interesting is you're so into facts and you're so into science, but then you supported Donald Trump, right?
Well, that's a whole different question. That's a whole different subject. Let's get back to.
But I want to know how it is you voted for Donald Trump when you're so into facts, because his entire campaign is not based in facts. It was all based in propaganda and emotion.
I voted for Donald Trump for one reason only. His policies, if implemented, would slow the dispossession of whites in the United States. If he were to deport all illegal immigrants, if he were to think very hard about letting in any Muslims, all of this would slow the rate at which whites are becoming a minority.
Why are you so worried about the white dispossession of America?
Because I want my people to survive. Is that so strange? We don't control China. We don't control any place where whites are not a majority. And if we become a minority, we will not control our own destiny anymore.
I grew up in this country as a minority.
I mean, honestly, I think that's a great point. I wish black people thought like that. He's making a great point. He's saying, look, white people are dwindling off. I mean, is he supposed to, as a white man, is a white man supposed to say, man, I really can't wait till my people dwindle off? Is he supposed to say that? Everybody else can be proud of their race. Everybody else can be proud of their people. But for some reason, this white man shouldn't want to keep his group alive. Like, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. And I'm not trying to sympathize with a white supremacist or whatever he is, but logically what he's saying is correct. Because if a black person was making the same argument, you wouldn't question him. You wouldn't question him. Shout out to Lord Desto Productions. He says the Chinese currently have the Uyghurs, I'm sorry, my spelling is poor, in reduction camps. They definitely got dirt on their hands. Of course they do. That's why China is 99% Chinese. Bro, you're not mass groups of people are not going to just immigrate into China. They're not having it. They're not having it. So the fact that he would even sit up here and question this guy about that, but not even bring up where he's from is crazy. I'm telling you, man, America's too nice, man. America's too nice. Let's go.
As the children of immigrants, I was their first child born in America. And while I didn't have much possession or didn't much control, I really enjoyed myself. And I think that if you ask a lot of Americans, they would say that I had a lot to offer this country. You know, according to you, I guess I would be perpetuating the dispossession of white America.
That is true. That is true.
Would you say that you wouldn't want me in this country?
At some point, When my ancestors built this nation, they did not build it with the intention of giving it away to Mexicans or Chinese or Haitians or to anyone else.
Do you consider, you keep saying your ancestors built this country, you consider that a fact?
Who else built it?
Black people, Native Americans, Chinese people who came and built the railroads.
Do you think none of that could have been
Italian
achieved?
people.
But they're Europeans, aren't they?
But you believe in evolution, right?
Evolution, I think, explains a great deal.
So,
now, I like how they skipped over that because, okay, first of all, he named all these people. Yes, black people did build America or play a significant role in building America. But if you're going to be honest, bro, I mean, they didn't come over here and smoke all these people, fight all these damn wars, and take over shit to give this shit away. I mean, I wouldn't want to either. You don't go on a conquest mission to give this shit away. You just don't. So, I mean, it's hard for me to disagree with Jared Taylor here. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to play the victim Olympics, there's plenty of room to play it here because there's so many victims of the upcoming of this country. There's so many victims involved, and yeah, you can play those games all day. But at the end of the day, as a black man, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else in the world. I wouldn't want to be a citizen of anywhere else in the world besides this place. Because even though this place has a lot of blood on its hands and it's done a lot of dirtball things, it's also done a lot of good. It also gives each of its citizens the leeway to become just as rich and just as prosperous as the next man, depending on what level of work they're willing to put in. In some countries in the world, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what type of work you put in. You can never make it to a certain place. Like if you're born in India to a certain class, you can never, ever get out of that class. You're stuck there. You're stuck there. If you're born in certain Arab countries, no matter what you do, you're stuck there. You're not stuck in America. America's like a huge casino, bro. It's like a big game of blackjack or a big game of poker. Boom. You get dealt your deck and you have to play you have to play your hand the best you can. You have to play it the best you can. And the good thing about the American casino is you get free drinks and free food while you're at it. Let's go.
According to evolutionary theory, we're all out of Africa. So at some point, your ancestors were sub-Saharan Africans.
So what? At some point, our ancestors were unicellular animals.
So I'm saying at any point in time, we could say you were an African. So you're choosing to pick this point in time and say you're a descendant of white Europeans.
Why do you think I'm choosing this point of time?
Because it's in favor of your politics at this point.
It's because I'm alive now.
Great point. Great point. Great point. And shout out to TorqueTube. TorqueTube says, you know, the Asian dude is from DC area. Yeah. You know, man, I got a funny story about Vice News, man. Vice News is a very, very weird media company. They are a very, very weird media company. So back in 2016, when I went viral for cursing out the police, right? They reached out to me a few months later because they was doing a special in DC, right? So they reached out and they asked me a bunch of questions, right? So they were asking me about gentrification and racism and all type of shit, right? And I was giving them straight up answers. You know, I always, a lot of people think I switched up, like I just became a conservative. I've been a conservative. The only difference is I used to be a pro-black conservative. At this point, I don't do the pro-black shit no more. It's a waste of time. But back then, I was on that pro-black shit. But they was asking me about gentrification, and they wanted me to give them a sob story about gentrification. And I told them the truth. I said, well, the reason there's gentrification is because a lot of people in DC are lazy as hell. They've been living free off the government for 30, 40 years. not paying taxes, not being productive citizens, and then when people come in and want to do some new shit, who have the power to do it, then they want to be upset, talking about they getting pushed out. No, you're not getting pushed out. You wasted time and resources. This is what happens when you live off the state. You don't control your own destiny. And I said that shit, and boom, that was it. They was like, oh, nah, we ain't putting this nigga on TV. They said, man, we not putting this nigga on TV. He's talking crazy. But it's the truth. Man, I remember when they first started gentrification in DC, man, niggas was running wild, scared to death. All these niggas in these projects, man, what we gonna do? We been here for 30 years. You've been here for 30 years living for free. And you built nothing. You've built nothing. Now you have to go. And it's not like they was about to be homeless. They just said, here, take this voucher and take your ass out to Maryland. It is what it is. Niggas killed me. But yeah, Vice News wasn't having it, bro. They was asking me questions. I was telling them the real. And they was like, nah, we can't put this nigga on TV. We cannot put this nigga on TV. So yeah, I never heard nothing else back from Vice News. I think on that episode, they ended up putting some rapper nigga on there. And I think maybe Tony Lewis. I think it was Tony Lewis and some rapper nigga or whatever. You know what I mean? They should have put me on there though. I would have got the ratings up because I was talking that real shit. But anyway, I'm done with that video. I want to get back to some more liberal tears because I'm really enjoying this moment. So what we're gonna do real quick, we're gonna throw on this clip from MSNBC's Morning Joe the day after the election. This was freaking gold. Let's go to that.
Democrats need to be mature. And I just say, Rev, really quickly, too. Democrats need to be mature, and they need to be honest. And they need to say, yes, there's misogyny. But it's not just misogyny from white men. Mm-hmm. It's misogyny.
Real quick, shout out to Koo. I figured that was you, Koo. I figured that was you on TalkTube. I figured that was you. Shout out to Koo, though. Shout out to Jermaine Smith. He says they ran out to PG County. Yes, they did. JP Reloaded says, right, you had the chance for 70 years. Yes, they had the chance to build something, but they decided to live for free and do nothing. Nothing from nothing begats nothing. Straight up. Let's go.
From Hispanic men. Right. It's misogyny from black men. Things we've all been talking about, who do not want a woman leading them.
Listen to this shit, man. From a grown-ass man talking this, man. Let's rewind this.
And I just say, Rev, really quickly, too. Democrats need to be mature, and they need to be honest. And they need to say, yes, there's misogyny. But it's not just misogyny from white men. Mm-hmm. It's misogyny from Hispanic men. Right. It's misogyny from black men. Things we've all been talking about, who do not want a woman leading them. Might be race issues with Hispanics. They don't want a black woman as president of the United States. You know, the Democratic Party, I've always found when you're sitting around talking, they love to just sort of balkanize everybody into these separate groups and say, oh, white people don't like women and black people. No, it is time for the Democrats to say, okay, and you and I have talked about this before, a lot of Hispanic voters have problems with black candidates. Right. A lot
and
of
with other Hispanics. You got some that don't like each other. And
now look at this stupidity, bro. Look at this stupidity. Look at this stupidity. These people just got blown out in a landslide election and they're still playing the victim Olympics. Bro, this is not about racism or misogyny. This is about common sense politics. Joe Biden's presidency was a failure. And you mean to tell me the number 2 in charge of this failure wants to be the next president. And then when she was asked, yo, what would you differently? She said nothing. She said she would do nothing differently. And you expect us to vote for that. And because we don't vote for it, we're misogynist. We're racist. We're all this stuff. Nah, bro. Y'all aren't reading the room. But I'm loving this because this is going to be the downfall. The mainstream media is already pretty much done. You can tell that through this election because Trump played YouTube. He played the YouTube stars. Mainstream media, he didn't really fool with too much. Kamala was all over mainstream media. The mainstream media was all greasing her up, and it didn't work. Let's go.
Some of the most misogynist things I've heard going on this Get Out the Vote tour came from black men. I mean, misogynist things. So you're absolutely right. It's not simplistic, and we've got to have real, honest conversations about it.
Ridiculous, bro. Ridiculous. These people are ridiculous. All right? Let's get to some more. Let's get to some more liberal tears. This has been great. Let's go to The View. See what The View had to say.
Disturbed.
Was red.
Yeah.
It was pretty red last night.
I don't know. I'm profoundly disturbed. I think if you look at the New York Times this morning, the headline was America makes a perilous choice. I think that in 2016.
Real quick. If you're enjoying this content, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. But most importantly, right now while we live, hit that share button. Let's help this video get off into the algorithm. If you're on Twitter, YouTube, or Facebook, hit the like button, hit the share button, comment in the live chat below. Let's go.
We didn't know what we would get from a Trump administration, but we know now. And we know now that he will have almost unfettered power. And so I worry, not about myself, actually. I don't worry about my station in life. I worry about the working class. I worry about my mother, a retired teacher. I worry about our elderly and their Social Security and their Medicare. I worry about...
I'm trying to figure out, what was she worried about the past 3-4 years? What was she worried about then? How are you worried now and you weren't worried the past 3 to 4 years? I don't get it. These people are clueless, and this is why the Democrats won't win. And if they keep this up in 2022, when we get the rest of the Congress and Senate races going, they're going to lose even more. They're going to lose even more. Because they still got the wrong idea. They're still running with the Victim Olympics. The Victim Olympics is over. The Victim Olympics is over. And you know why the Victim Olympics is over. You know why. You know what the American people are saying about the Victim Olympics?
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
Jerry.
Fix the economy. Fix the economy. If we're not talking about the economy, immigration, and ending wars,
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
Jerry.
Nobody's life is in danger from opinions. If you have a racist opinion, I don't care. That's your opinion. My life is not in danger. If you have a misogynist opinion, who cares? There's laws to protect women from misogyny. Who cares? It's your opinion. But if inflation is through the roof, I care. That's a physical problem. That's cutting into my pockets. I care about that. And that's the mindset of the majority of the American people at this point. And these jokers don't get it.
My children's future, especially my daughter, who now has less rights than I have. And I remember my father telling me many, many years ago that I was the first.
I'm trying to figure out what rights is she talking. What less rights does your daughter have that you don't have?
Person in his family to enjoy full civil rights. And now I have less civil rights than I had when he told me that. So again, I am profoundly disturbed that the 14th Amendment of the Constitution did not prevent someone who participated in an insurrection from becoming president of the United States. I think that going forward, the convicted felon box on employment applications better be taken off, because if you can be the president of the United States, then you should.
Listen to this stupidity. Listen to this stupidity, bro. You know, these people act like he wasn't targeted by his political opponent. He would not be a felon if he wasn't running for president. That's a fact. He would not be a felon if he wasn't running for president. Let's see what we're talking about in the chat. Lord Destro Production says the Democrats beat themselves. Their main objective was focusing on identity politics and hating on Trump, not understanding or acknowledging that you've alienated the average working class person. Facts. Facts. And bro, they still don't get it. Look how they're talking. They still don't get it. But I hope they keep talking like this, because I want them to continue to lose.
You should not be prevented from employment in this country, because I remember applying for my jobs as a federal prosecutor, and there was a box for convicted felons. Well, and so that box better be taken off. And I think our healthcare system is now at risk. I think
no fluoride for anyone.
Yeah, economists have made clear that he's going to increase the debt by $7.75 trillion. I'm worried about mass deportation and internment camps, and I'm also worried about Elon Musk warning Americans to prepare for temporary hardship. I'm surprised at the result, but I'm not surprised. As a woman of color, I was so hopeful that a mixed race woman married to a Jewish guy could be elected president of this country. Mm-hmm. And I think that it had nothing to do with policy. I think this was...
I'm not gonna lie to y'all niggas. These people generally, like they really make me sick. I really, you know, I hate to talk like this, but I really don't like these people, especially this woman here. I do not like her. I don't like her. I don't like her.
Was a referendum of cultural resentment in this country.
Well, I think it, I think it has to do with a lot of things, that being one of them. I'm obviously very disappointed. I'm very sad. I was at the Kamala Harris headquarters yesterday in Washington, and it was a very sad scene. The mood turned immediately, and I tell you, there's a quote I get a lot of inspiration from, and it's a quote that I read when I was reading about John F. Kennedy, and it says,
Shout out to the Jermaine Smith. He says on Facebook, he says, yeah, the same Jewish dude that laid the smackdown on her overseas. Oh my God. JP says, maybe she knows her daughter's a freak and get pregnant but can't get an abortion. Amazing why she's upset. Facts. JP also says her daughter has less rights. Amazing. All right, let's go.
whether I am on the winning or the losing side is not the point with me. It is being on the side where my sympathies lie that matters. And that to me brought me a consolation and inspiration this morning, because I have no regrets. Yep. I worked hard as hell to elect the first Black Asian woman president. History slipped through our fingers again. I worked hard as hell for Donald Trump not to be president. But today, unlike Donald Trump and his followers, I acknowledge that he won. I hope for the best for our country, and I make a commitment to our LGBTQ, to our immigrants, to our elderly, to our young girls, to the women, that we will not stop fighting. We can...
Bro. I mean, I don't know what else to say, bro. I mean, this is like, it's just a non-stop oppression Olympics. Non-stop identity politics. Like, they just don't get it. We don't care. We don't care. We don't care. We're gonna get to this Joy Reid joint, man, and then we gonna get to some other stuff. But let's get to Joy Reid, because her rant was ridiculous. These people are all losing their minds.
Out the suburbs, you know.
Now, Joy Reid's reign is interesting because she's going to go all in on white women right now.
It's a state that I think Democrats definitely were reaching for. There was a lot of work to try to turn out the college campuses, which were really thick and really packed, and try to turn out the suburbs. And I think there was a lot of hope because of just the insanity, can we say fairly, of the person who's running for governor in that state, and the thought that, defeating him would also carry Harris in. But in the end, if they didn't make their numbers and essentially exceed the numbers that Joe Biden had in the suburbs, and I think we have to be blunt about why. Black voters came through for Kamala Harris. White women voters did not. That is what it appears happened in that state, is that if you can't flip enough white women, and we've talked about this on this set numerous times, is that you have a state where you've got a 6-week abortion or a 12-week abortion. I think theirs might be 12 weeks. Yep. But it's a state where women lost their reproductive rights, where there was a very heavy push to get women to focus on not putting in place, re-electing, putting back into the White House the person who was responsible for taking those rights away and restoring them. But that message obviously was not enough to get enough white women to vote for Vice President Harris, a fellow woman. This will be the second opportunity that white women in this country have.
Because most white women are stupid. They're not stupid. They understand that identity politics doesn't pay the bills. You know what? I gotta give a special shout out to the Latino men, the Latino women, white women, and white men for this election. But let's go back to white women, right? She's trying to put the blame on white women. Listen, I'm gonna give the white women their credit here, because the majority of white women, you know what they realized? They realized that the temporary high you get from seeing a woman become president after the first week doesn't really matter when her policies are going to leave you bankrupt. They understand that it doesn't matter. They have foresight. Black women, and not all black women, but a lot of black women, all they care about is their bragging rights. They want to make history so bad and be able to walk around with their chest out, bragging about how they are the first woman to become president of the United States, that they're willing to bankrupt the entire country to do it. They're willing to continue with 4 more years of the failure that we've had for the last 4 years. They're willing to risk that just to say that they were the first to do something. And really the joke's on them, because she ain't even black. But that's all this is about. This is about bragging rights and the right to dash out on your responsibilities as a mother. Nothing more, nothing less. That's why they are so upset and in their feelings right now, crying and trying to come up with all these reasons why it's the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. You just didn't get your way. And you know that with Trump in office, you have to be that much more accountable for your actions. That's the part that hurts. That's the part that hurts. But anyway, here we have it. What I want to do next, before we close out, I want to take a look at exactly what Kamala and the Democrats did wrong. Now, the first clip I'm going to show is from CNN. It's a Democrat strategist who was actually spot on with her assessment of what happened in this election. But the only problem, in my opinion, is that she was a little too late. Too little, too late. Right? But anyways, let's get to it.
But my issue with you is that
to my friends in the Democratic Party, this is not Joe Biden's fault. It's not Kamala Harris's fault. It's not Barack Obama's fault. It is the fault of the Democratic Party in not knowing how to communicate effectively to voters. We are not the party of common sense, which is what the message that voters sent to us. For a number of reasons, we don't know how to speak to voters. When we address Latino, and language has meaning. When we address Latino voters as Latinx, for instance, because that's the politically correct thing to do.
Damn, it's echoing. Okay, let me see if I can fix that.
It makes them think that we don't even live on the same planet as they do. When we are too afraid to say that, hey, college kids, if you're trashing the campus of Columbia University because you're unhappy about some sort of policy and you're taking over a university and you're trashing it and preventing other students from learning, that is unacceptable. But we're so worried about alienating one or another cohort in our coalition that we don't know what to say when normal people look at that and say, wait a second, I send my kids to college so they can learn, not so that they can burn buildings and trash lawns, right? And so on and so forth. When we put pronouns after names and say she, her, as opposed to saying, you know what, if I call you by the wrong pronoun, call me out, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. But stop with the virtue signaling and just speak to people like they're normal. There's nothing I'm going to say to Shermichael that I'm not going to say to you, that I'm not going to say to somebody else. I speak the same language to everybody. But that's not what Democrats do. We constantly try to parse out different ways of speaking to different cohorts because our focus groups or our polling shows that so-and-so appeals to such and such. That's not how normal people think. It's not common sense. And we need to start being the party of common sense again. Joe Biden is not responsible for that. Neither is Kamala Harris. It is a problem that Democrats have had for years. I've been banging the drum on this for, I don't know how, probably 10 years, if not longer on this. We need to get back to being the party of common sense, that people look at us and say, we understand you, we appreciate what you say because you speak our language.
Right, and I think that's a good take. I mean, I don't agree with necessarily everything that she said, but for the most part, if Democrats would have thought like that, they wouldn't be in the position they're in right now. They would not be in that position. Now, what I want to do is, real quick, I want to play, and I like this guy, he's on CNN. I want to play Scott Jennings' take. Scott Jennings is a CNN analyst.
Not Nazis?
One of the only people on CNN who I would actually listen to. Let's listen to him.
I'm interpreting the results tonight as the revenge of just the regular old working class American, the anonymous American who has been crushed, insulted, condescended to. They're not garbage. They're not Nazis. They're just regular people who get up and go to work every day and are trying to make a better life for their kids, and they feel like they have been told to just shut up when they have complained about the things that are hurting them in their own lives. I also feel like this election, as we sit here and pour over this tonight, is something of an indictment of the political information complex. I mean, we've been sitting around here for the last couple of weeks, and the story that was portrayed was not true. I mean, we were told Puerto Rico was going to change the election. Liz Cheney, Nikki Haley voters, women lying to their husbands. Before that, it was Tim Walz and the camo hats. Night after night after night, we were told all these things and gimmicks were going to somehow push Harris over the line. And we were just ignoring the fundamentals. Inflation, people feeling like that they were barely able to tread water at best. That was the fundamentals of the election.
You know what's funny, man? If you guys were to go back and watch this particular guy on CNN for the past 3-4 months, he's been trying to tell them that. They all called this man crazy every night. And he's been spot on every night trying to tell them, you guys are wrong. You guys are wrong. But look who's wrong now. Let's go.
But I think for all of us who cover elections and talk about elections and do this on a day-to-day basis, we have to figure out how to understand, talk to, and listen to the half of the country that rose up tonight and said, we've had enough. I do think the way this campaign was run was basically on, the Democrats thought there were enough people who hated Trump or were willing to fear him to win the race. And it turns out there's more to being president than simply not being Donald Trump in the eyes of the American people.
Yeah, Jermaine Smith, Van Jones definitely cried. He definitely cried. You know, that's what he does, bro. That's what he does. He does that for a living. He's the crying Negro.
I'm a little worried about how Democrats are going to react. They've been told Trump is a modern-day Hitler, or at least he's a fascist. And now Kamala Harris, I suspect, is going to have to wake up in the morning and concede to that person. I'm a little concerned about an election in which half the country was conditioned to believe that the person who just won the national popular vote is going to be a dictator, eliminate the Constitution, and create a bloodbath, and so on and so forth. So we have to reckon with that in the aftermath of that argument.
So there we have it. There we have it. I think I got one more clip I want to play for you guys, and that's just basically the demographics. The CNN guy, another guy actually who I like on CNN. I can't remember his goddamn name, but he breaks down all the demographics. He breaks down all the polls and basically shows you how America's voting. He's been pretty spot on throughout this whole thing too, which is also crazy to me because people are wondering like, how did Kamala lose? If you were watching this guy's breakdowns of the polls on CNN every night, you would know that Kamala Harris was in deep shit. All right. So anyways, let's get to that.
I'm interpreting.
Up for stake, Donald Trump ahead by some 57,000 votes there, almost 5%. That's with 88% in. Again, both Arizona and Nevada were states that Joe Biden won 4 years ago. If these results hold, they would be flips for Donald Trump. The same is true in Michigan with 15 electoral votes. Donald Trump there up by 200.
All right, I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit. I want to skip to the when he starts talking about the demographics.
And Harry, you've got some of the exit polling. Yes, sir. You've got the story behind the story from what we've seen all night and into the morning.
Yeah, it's exactly right, John. Look, before the election, we were talking about potentially historic realignment in the electorate. It has borne itself out in the exit polls. We could start off with Latino voters. Look, Kamala Harris is leading among Latino voters by 8 points. I went back through the exit polls. There have been exit polls since 1972. No Democrat has had such a small lead as Kamala Harris has right now in the history of the exit polls. The smallest such margin was back in 2004 when George W. Bush won Latino voters by 9 points. Kamala Harris is just winning them by 8 points at this point. Now, we can also talk about Asian voters as well. What do we see among Asian voters? Look, Kamala Harris is leading among them by 18 points. You have to go all the way back since 2004 to find a Democrat performing as poorly among Asian voters as Kamala Harris is right now. What about voters under the age of 30? This is another group in which Donald Trump is excelling for a Republican candidate. What do we see here? We see Kamala Harris up by 13 points, significantly worse than Joe Biden did 4 years ago. In fact, you have to go all the way back since George W. Bush days once again to find a Democrat performing that poorly among voters under the age of 30. If Donald Trump's first victory in 2016 was about winning white working class voters, this victory in 2024 was about going into normally Democratic bastions and taking those voters that a lot of folks never thought he could potentially do and winning them tonight in historic fashion, John.
All right, Harry, thank you very much. I want to bring in my panel.
So there we go. Here we have it, man. I gotta be totally honest with you guys. As I said earlier, my choice for president this year had nothing to do with misogyny or bigotry or anything of that nature. It all boiled down to policy and presentation. I mean, the decision some of the decisions that this campaign was making, right, were some of the worst decisions I've ever seen. For instance, you can see why Kamala did so poorly with groups outside of black women based off the platform she chose to interview at. The Call Me Daddy podcast, Club Shay Shay. I mean, that's literally just like her preaching to the choir. There was no way in hell she was going to reach Latino men. There was no way in hell she was going to reach white men, working class white men, or even working class men in general on those platforms. And as you can see, those are some of the demographics that she performed the worst at. I'm not sure why she thought making her entire campaign about pandering to black women. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure how she thought that was going to get her over the hump. But clearly, whoever was advising her was severely incompetent. The fact that she chose not to do Rogan may have been her biggest mistake. The fact that she chose not to do Rogan might have been her biggest mistake, only second to when she admitted that she wouldn't have done anything different than Biden. I mean, the jokes write themselves with this woman and her campaign. They write themselves. You know what I mean? And once again, I want to reiterate to black women, okay? Stop the whining, stop the crying, and stop trying to gaslight black men into feeling sorry for you because Kamala lost. I'm telling you right now, we don't feel sorry for you. Especially if you a nigga like me. I remember how you niggas did Kevin Samuels. I remember. You laughed at the man and you mocked his death. A man that black men revered and respected. You laughed at him and mocked his death. So if you think I'm about to sit up here and pat you on the back and console you because you crying about Kamala Harris losing, you got the wrong nigga. You got the wrong nigga. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. I was gonna take some calls, but I've got to catch a flight at 7 a.m., an international flight, so I got to be at the airport at 5 a.m. But anyways, do me a favor, guys. Whether you agree, you disagree, you're indifferent, do me a favor. If you're watching the playback of this live stream, comment in the comment section below. Also, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. Do all those things. Help us out in the algorithm. But anyway, we're going to close this out, man. For myself and the rest of the crew here at Tripp and Ain't Easy, peace out. We'll catch you on the next one.